Yeah, well, unfortunately, there is a lot of people out there who don't believe they need to look at themselves. That's the problem. I mean, I even before I arrived at Doterra, I was already doing that. When you do a degree in social work, it does kind of push you to do that, because if you can't look at yourself, you can't really look at a client. So it kind of, I was already in that area anyway, and I was so Doterra came along, it kind of just like, oh right, I'm doing the same thing as I was doing before. But I mean, often, and even we tell people in our, clients and people like that, is what's important here is the journey you're going to be going on, and you're going to be, it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad, but there may never be a destination to this, but at least the journey will be ups and downs. But that's normal. That's what everyone's going through, and so the important thing here is that tomorrow is going to be there's going to be a possibility tomorrow that times are better. You see the future. The future will be better, and that's what I think we're all going for. We're all looking for. We talk about financial freedom. We talk about time freedom and stuff like that. But really, we're looking for a happier life in the future, which we feel is happier than it is today. I mean, that's what I kind of think I'm looking for anyway. Not that my life isn't happy now, but you're kind of looking for something else, aren't you? You're looking. That's where the why is going to. It's going to an abstract future. We're no guarantee of getting to.
I think, Stephen, you're definitely on the right path. But what we're talking about here is, if you are in tune with your why, and if you're in tune with where you're wanting to go on that journey, you will prioritize things differently in your life. And it's impossible to prioritize your time, because we all have the same amount of time. We're all limited with time. But the only way you can prioritize your time in order to guide your life, so you're taking the reins, you're steering your life where you're going to have the freedom that we're talking about, or the happiness that we're talking about, or whatever it is that you're looking for. The only way to be able to prioritize that is to be in touch with it. If you're not in touch with it, you can't prioritize it, because you're going to prioritize other people's demands on your time. You're going to prioritize what you feel like you should be doing. You're going to prioritize what other people are telling you you should be doing. But you need to find out what you should be doing for yourself. And that's where this why comes from. So if you do that internal work, you figure out where you're wanting to go, you're answering the question, what does happiness look like for me? Then you're able to prioritize your time based on that. And you will start to guide your journey rather than your journey of life guiding you somewhere.
I love what everyone's been sharing about understanding what's important to you. And there's another quote by Simon Sinek that I think kind of sums up that. He says, gaining clarity of why, ironically, is not the hard part. It's the discipline to trust one's gut, to stay true to one's purpose, cause, or beliefs. Remaining completely in balance and authentic is the most difficult part. Finding why is a process of discovery, not invention. And I think we've talked about that through this whole podcast. It's discovering the things that are most important to us. What do we value? What is our purpose? What do we want to contribute to the world? And what are the unique gifts we have to be able to contribute that purpose to the world? And staying true to those, just like Val was talking about with the tech splits, you can do any part of the business from your own perspective, in your own unique way, with your own unique gifts, as long as you understand what those are and what is important to you. And a lot of times we just go through life and we don't pay any attention to those things. And that self-discovery and that learning about ourselves helps us to feel fulfilled. It helps us to have our own needs met and to recognize that we really can contribute to the world in a way that feels powerful and impactful to us.
just share one point,
Go for it, Roger.
even with regards to your question about the flow of life? Because I think there's an analogy that I've used recently that it's in my head because I've been doing a fair amount of cycling recently. But it's that you control a couple of things in order to get to your destination. You control the cadence with which you spin on your bicycle, for example, or with which you run. You control the pace, and you control the direction so that you get to where you want to go. But even within that, there's an ebb and a flow, right? And the ebb and the flow might be the wind is in your face and therefore it's slowing you down. Or it might be the wind is at your back and therefore it's speeding you up. Or it might be that you're going down a hill or going up a hill. These things are things that are very difficult to control. And this is what I liken to the ebb and the flow. The ebb and the flow aren't necessarily guiding you. They're just either the wind at your back or the wind in your face. But we need to control the direction, and we need to control the cadence, the pace at which we go. And the pace will determine eventually the speed, but the pace determines the speed in combination with ebb and flow. And so I don't think they're contrary. I think what is important is we've got to keep doing the right activities, and this is where the slight edge or the compound effect come into play. You got to keep doing the right activities on a consistent basis. And you've got to know where you're wanting to go. So that internal work. So you're guiding the bicycle, but then you're going to go uphill and you're going to go downhill, and that's part of life. And so,
and even fall off the bike occasionally.
And even fall off the bike occasionally.
And get back on.
Right. And there's the question, do you get back on or do you not, right?
Exactly.
And that all comes down to, why am I doing this in the first place? And so I think it's a great example, actually. I fully agree that life should be one of those things that we should understand that there is ebb and flow in life, and not necessarily fight against it. But if we're in a position of ebb, it's about preparing for the flow that we know is inevitably going to come.
Yeah, well, I'd like to thank Roger, Valerie, and of course Sherry and me. And this is the end of the Doe Essential Chat for this bio week, and I hope to hear you again in the future. So good night, good morning, good afternoon, and good day.